We are live. Am I introducing us? Okay.
Oh, cool, yeah. Hello, everyone. This is another Naiji Temple. It's a short one. We spent some time getting our incantation down, but we have it now. We'll present that to you, and then maybe do a short question for one of our fan members of the forums. All right, this is Naiji Coach.
Naiji Mitchell.
Naiji Ben.
And Naiji Glenn.
All right, the beat we're going to do today for credit is Meet the Mojos. Okay, take it away, Mitchell.
I don't really hear you, but it's the Jai V, just to make sure we got that down. Okay.
Yes, if it wasn't clear, everyone, we're doing the beat is the formal incantation Meet the Mojos, Jai V.
Thank you. Perfect. Okay. So, the Jai V Mojo has the conscious powers of Jai Moral Compass and V Visceral Experience for momentum, with Nai Speculation and Z Strategy for modulation. They have the energy fields of adaptive, subjective, discernment lead, values-based, and literal. Some Jai V females are Jessica Alba, Halle Berry, Penelope Cruz, Kat Dennings, Winona Ryder, Megan Fox, Angelina Jolie, Beyonce Knowles, Rihanna, and Gwen Stefani. Some Jai V males are Gareth Bale, Edinson Cavani, Miguel Cotto, Cesc Fabregas, and Xavi Hernandez, and Rafael Nadal, Luis Nani, Ronaldinho, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Casper Smart.
Nice. Credit received, sir. Glenn, you want to try it?
Sure. The Jai V have the conscious powers of Jai Moral Compass and V Visceral Experience for momentum, with Nai Speculation and Z Strategy for modulation. They have the energy fields of adaptive, subjective, values-based, literal, and discernment lead. Some notable Jai V females would include Jessica Alba, Halle Berry, Penelope Cruz, Kat Dennings, Winona Ryder, Megan Fox, Angelina Jolie, Beyonce Knowles, Rihanna, and Gwen Stefani. Some notable males would include Gareth Bale, Edinson Cavani, Miguel Cotto, Cesc Fabregas, Xavi Hernandez, Rafael Nadal, Luis Nani, Ronaldinho, Cristiano Ronaldo, and lastly, Casper Smart.
Nice. On point, sir. Credit received. Last one to you, Ben. Bring us home.
Okay, sounds good. Jai V have the conscious powers of Jai Moral Compass and V Visual Experience for momentum, with Nai Speculation and Z Strategy for modulation. They have the energy fields of adaptive, subjective, discernment lead, values-based, literal. Some Jai V females are Angelina, wait no, Jessica Alba, Halle Berry, Penelope Cruz, Kat Dennings, Winona Ryder, Megan Fox, Angelina Jolie, Beyonce Knowles, Rihanna, and Gwen Stefani. Some Jai V males are Gareth Bale,
How you doing there, Ben?
Still thinking. I feel like I have it, but it's taking
Okay.
a really long time to get
All
it.
right.
Gareth Bale. Yeah, I don't know. So should I just like redo it, or
Yeah, why don't you just see if you can finish up learning it after this session, 'cause it'll still be hot, and see if you can do it like right
it
afterward.
won't really be hot? But okay, that sounds good.
Well, I mean, it's not, it's still quite hot. I mean, if it's within the same day,
It'll be warm.
it's still. Yeah, it'll still be warm.
Still somewhat warm, I think.
I can do that. That sounds good.
So you would try that, or do you want to try it again now? Do you think you went over
I
the?
feel like I can get it. I just need to
All
go
right,
over the mails one more time.
why don't you do that? Why don't you go over the?
It's Edison. It's,
Yeah, okay. If you can get it, go ahead and do it now. Go ahead and see if you go to the guys and then do it.
okay, so it's Edison Cavani, Miguel Cotto, Cesc Fabregas, Xavi Hernandez, Rafael Nadal. Edison Cavani, Miguel Cotto, Hernandez, Rafael Nadal, Luis Mani. Cristiano Ronaldo, Cassius Manuel, Edison Cavani, Miguel Cotto, Cesc Fabregas, Xavi Hernandez. All right.
Was that you were give it another run?
Yeah. I'll give it one more try.
All right, you can do it.
Gyral compass with B visceral experience momentum, and B visceral experience momentum with Nye speculation and Z strategizing modulation. They have energy fields of adaptive, subjective, discernment mood, values-based literal. Some Jaivi females are Jessica Alba, Halle Berry, Penelope Cruz, Kat Dennings, Winona Ryder, Megan Fox, Angelina Jolie, Beyonce Knowles, Rihanna, and Gwen Stefani. The Jivey males are Gareth Bale, Edison Cavani, Miguel Cotto, Cesc Fabregas, Javi Hernandez, Rafael Nadal, Luis Nani, Ronaldinho, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Casper Smart. Yay!
Yay! Nice.
Awesome.
That's
took
willpower,
like
baby.
an hour and a
That's
half. but-
awesome.
All right.
I'll sing them with you, Young. I'll sing them with you.
All right, guys.
Like,
I would like to
just
answer
say
questions.
his name next.
I would like to answer questions for the fans if at all possible. We can't get both of them,
Sorry,
but
I
maybe get
soaked up
one.
all that time.
It's okay, but no, but that's important to do, and so that's the team first. But and as we have time, we can also do fan questions. But no, I'm glad you put that in. It's important. I think maybe there's one we can answer fairly quickly. If you guys don't mind, like giving like another 10, 15 minutes, is that okay?
Sure.
Oh yeah, no, sure. Let's do it.
I've got time.
I'm going to read through the question. It's in the forum thread called Naiji and Bodybuilding, and it was posted by Alcades. I'll just kind of read it through, give a quick some thoughts myself, and turn it over to you guys as well. Okay. He says, I've been going through the videos on BAM, basically Bearded Anger Man, and B modulation for Naiji. Personally, I go to the gym too, but mainly focus on improving my Olympic lifts instead of bodybuilding. Which means by two, he means me. I don't bodybuild. We'll get that in a second. One thing I always had a problem with is dieting and keeping track of calories. I never really had problems actually going to the gym working out. I look big, but never really leaned down to six-pack level like bodybuilders. I realize that for me, my motivation comes from two things. Improve my lifts, basically treat it like an art. I like getting my technique better, refining it, working on mobility and strength. The other thing is something like BAM. My facial hair grows very slowly. I don't really like the wispy look I get if I don't shave. Like mentioned in the BAM video, I really admire primitive shamanic culture, the strong connection to spirituality like nomadic Tibetans and Mongolians, Siberians, Native Americans, and so on. I think for me, looking strong, a little primitive is part of what drives me. I've been taking a break from the gym for the last week since I felt that maybe I was being up too much, and I've been reevaluating my goals, not just in terms of lifting but overall in life. Anyway, of course, I know that leaning would be better for me in many ways, but the ideas of looking aesthetic never drove me. I think maybe if I try to think about it in terms of BAM, looking like a strong barbarian who comes in upset and takes over the pampered pompous Romans might be better motivation for leaning down. Hope Coach sees this and comments on it. Yes, some quick thoughts is that anytime that you are doing it for just a visual appearance, then it's not going to be as motivating for an IG, and it's not as much in your control. And so B, when it's finished properly for an IG, will generally be something they can control as part of some practice of doing it. For myself, one thing that I like is I like the mental clarity that I get from the working out. And so that really helps me to stay motivated and also allows me to lean down. That's not my main motivation, but it does happen naturally because I tend to work out in order to feel better. I think you'll find if you work out just to be strong or to be imposing or anything like that, it'll be difficult to also improve your diet and overall lifestyle to give you an overall healthy body. Because if you have a bit of an antagonistic view of your body, when you go to the gym, I'm going to make my body do this, and you're going to force it to do things, then you don't really have a really good relationship with your body, and then later on you'll feel the need to kind of like indulge in other things, maybe like reading or the like. But if you keep yourself in a positive headspace towards your body, then that's good. And the bearded look comes up kind of naturally. You think of it like I think of the gym sort of like a wizard's spa. I go there to actually stretch out, to get my cardio up, to sweat, to pump my muscles, and it's mainly to feel good. I think if you focus on feeling good, then it'll be easier to keep overall healthy. But if you go for I want to be impressive or a badass, Naiji, that's going to have limitations to it because V's never going to pan out in that way the way you want, because the kind of impressiveness and dominance and force in the environment you want to have should come from your Nai, your genius, your visionary drive, the way you conduct yourself. Having a body to go along with that to accentuate is great, but if the body's taking the lead, then it'll throw things off. Those are just my 2 cents off the top. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can like try and like perform feats as far as like, you know, if you want like to look a certain way or to have a certain level of strength. I mean, you can try and like perform impressive feats that way. But like that may not be what I mean. But it has to go along with what you're. I mean, with your Nai, with what your with your visionary drive of what you want to do. I mean, sometimes that can go like directly along with that. Maybe I don't know, you're a runner or something. But a lot of times it might kind of like split your interests. Like you're not really passionate about working out. You're just trying to do it because. I mean, it looks impressive, but your Nai might be completely interested in something else, and it might not be very fulfilling for you.
That's actually really a good point for you to make. Ben.
It is. It is. And one thing I would just know in that real quick, 2 things. You were saying with the feats, is if you go more for feats, that will be better for Naiji than just something nebulous like looking good or being strong or being imposing, but a specific feat, because then shape-shifting is very rewarding for us, and so there can be more that goes along with that. But otherwise, what can come up is you can actually be in a sort of impressive way that you're not really into, but you're doing it just because. And what happens is you turn the world more into V. The more you play on those terms, the more the world will note you in those terms and go, oh, you have pretty big muscles, but not really big muscles. Oh, you can actually lift a lot in your bench press, but not like a ton. Yeah. And so you have to ask yourself, what is you want to do? So that the V you're doing is going to invite the environment to look at you in a certain way, a way you would like to be looked at.
That's really important. Yeah.
You score the way you see yourself. It should be a lot more than just the physical. But a lot of Naiji, they do that. They'll do the physical almost like as damage control. I did myself for many years where I was like, doing like the martial arts badass thing. But one thing you have to watch out for, and I ran into this, is you end up bringing up a lot of activities and motifs that re-emphasize things that you find uncomfortable. So you have to watch out for actually, doing something in order to like fix it, but actually ends up making it a permanent part of your life. So.
Yeah, I wanted to say a few things too, because actually, when it comes to bodybuilding, I have like a really strong interest in that as well. It's a lot more spiritual for me, and it's a lot more like having to do with like personal development and personal trying to like become a better person and that sort of thing. I find that
when done properly, the 2 can go together well, but you have to do it. Make sure you do it right. But yes, they can work together well.
Yes, and for me personally, like right now, I'm kind of dealing with the kind of complicated issue of trying to make it so that I can do some exercising and try to become more healthier, and so that I can, feel better on a day-to-day basis and also live longer as far as my entire lifespan is concerned. Because those are really important to me, and the clarity of mind. But sometimes I find that there's not always time to sort of squeeze in little things here and there, because I find like there's other things that kind of take over as priorities. Like there's a lot of stuff. I'm doing a lot of stuff for like the Naiji and Nijai ebooks, and that kind of like takes a lot of my time. But I do find that making sure that I eat correctly and make that I eat in the proper amount of calories, so at least that I can maintain a good amount of weight is something that's doable. It's a lot more easier. But I am trying to see if I can work out like a way to try and make it so that I can do a little bit of exercising here and there, but still in a way that my spirits kind of like appreciate and like that, so that I can develop my body in an aesthetic way and in a way that I can make myself stronger and be healthier, and then I can look at myself in the mirror and feel more proud about myself. But then I also understand that these things, they have to be done for like a really important reason overall, and they have to like matter like as far as like the overall trajectory of my life is and where that's going. That's really important.
Definitely. I think one thing that has worked for me over the years is often I like to work out early in the morning or later in the afternoon. And the reason for this is that as far as the ritualist goes, I find that one thing my spirits do like is that sometimes I have work I need to do, creative writing or emoji reading, whatever, and I can have sort of angsty energy or thoughts in my mind that I'm having a hard time clearing. And so it's nice to have a ritual to center myself. And so my spirits like any ritual I do, that when I do it, it has a propensity for centering me and giving me clarity. So in the morning, I often usually work out, and I wake up, I have a lot of thoughts in my mind. And if I was to try to go right into, say, creative writing or emoji reading or something like that, it would be in the way. So going to the gym, I kind of do a lot of visioning as I work out. It's a nice like 2-for-1. And my spirits like that. They like that I'm doubling up my time, and they like that it's going to give me a better for the work I'm going to be doing later, usually, like I said, writing or reading. Then it can go the other way. Sometimes I feel the need to get right to activities of the day before anything else, in which case I'll just wake up, boom, in a fit, and go right to emoji reading or right to writing or right to blogging, and I'll just go until I'm kind of like spent. When I'm spent in kind of a metaphysical way, and I'm also a little kind of like crimped up. I'm sure you guys have felt that. You do a lot of memorizing, a lot of writing, a lot of reading, whatever. Then I do the workout afterwards, almost like a therapy session, to kind of work out the kinks. And again, my spirits like that. It's kind of like I'm refreshing the vehicle for another ride. So they don't see it as a timeout. If I use it to like warm up to get like attuned, my instrument really tuned up for a good push, or I just start to do a really hard push right out of the gate, and I kind of do that to make sure I, refresh myself and kind of like get the knots out. So those things that tend to help my spirits understand why that they're doing it.
Yeah, I totally see the value in that.
I generally found that doing it in the middle of the day, like where's the main event, my spirits rebel at that. They don't like that. They like to kind of revolve around my metaphysical push, either to warm it up or to cool it down at the end.
Yeah. In the morning, it's time you kind of like wake up and you're a little bit. You need to get your body into gear a little bit, so you kind of like work into it. And then at nighttime seems less conducive, I think, for me personally. I don't know if you agree with that, Coach.
I do. As I mentioned, I usually prefer to do it first thing to kind of tune myself up. But some special days, my spirits will just wake me up super early in the morning, like get in there and work on the computer. And it basically just, get me on there first thing, and I kind of just go straight until I'm exhausted. And then the workout's almost like a break. Ironically, go to lift some weights feels like a break from that.
Yeah,
but no,
it does actually feel like that.
Yeah, but most times, Glenn, I agree with you. I do tend to prefer to do it in the morning.
Right. Like right after breakfast. Like sometime after that. Yeah, and I think that works really well.
Actually, I'm right that way. I don't really like breakfast. I actually have to wake up, and I really enjoy the quasi state. I'm sure you all know it's a nice you kind of wake up with. I try to like nurse my quasi state. I wake up, I don't talk really to anyone, I kind of start cleaning up my apartment, and then I go and I do the workout. I don't talk to anyone, I'm in the zone, and I take my shower, and then I stretch, and then I get into my work. And so I like to see how deep I can go in a quasi-state while being physically vigorous. As an IG, especially in the morning, you wake up quasi-state, you kind of like, I've actually taken quasi-state where I'm like in the middle of doing my bike or elliptical machine, like for 15, 20 minutes, and wait for something else. I'm like, I don't even remember how I got here. I do. I take a sheet of paper is what I have to do, because I'm there kind of just look at the paper, do that exercise. Look at the paper, but I don't even remember what I'm doing.
It's like you don't even...
I'm an auto.
Yeah, it feels good to be in that kind of state.
Yeah.
It does. I have a lot of big thoughts that come to me in that state. I like it.
Yeah, I can totally see the value in that. You just kind of like, Yeah, this is like you get answers to like certain questions, or there you kind of like find yourself thinking about different things that you normally don't ever think about, and that kind of like it kind of feels like the knee is getting in there too with your other, and then it's really it's cool.
It is, and I find that actually, I may have mentioned this in other blogs in the past, that sometimes the Nye, it needs some sort of nice B that you find enjoyable, and it's sort of like distracting in a way, but it's not overwhelming. And a lot of times you get really good Nye insights because your Nye is being given free reign to do it at once, but there's something to kind of like distract you, so you're not like thinking. You're kind of like in the middle of doing a bench press, and then it kind of slips in.
I sometimes do that while like eating food too. Like I'll be really thinking about something like while I'm chewing on a slice of pizza or something.
Yeah.
For sure.
You might find that you take longer when you eat, but then you're doing a lot of like Nye speculating and pondering at the same time.
Yeah, it sort of gives you something.
Vision eating.
Yeah, envisioning.
Yeah. And I find that's actually particularly fun for me to do, like to do that while I'm eating, as opposed to I don't know. It's kind of it's also kind of like a break, like to eat something. I don't know.
It can be.
Yeah.
As far as bringing the knee in on that, I find if I have a meal that's very interesting, either it's interesting to make it, like I like making it, it has a lot of cool like ingredients and smells to it, but I kind of just do that on autopilot and my Nye will come in. And other times also, the dish itself, like what Nexi really likes is if either I make something or I order something that has a lot of little different pieces, like sushi, for example. We get a lot of different things. You get some gyoza dumplings, a few this, a few rolls, and so it's a lot of different pieces. You kind of just take one and eat it, and you kind of think for a little bit, and you try another one. And so I don't know, the Nye really likes it. Like I like just being able to drip like that, and these little like interesting nuggets. Like, oh, that's an interesting thing. I don't know, but yeah, I agree. I found go ahead.
How often do you like I want to ask everyone here, Mitchell and Ben, you guys too, how often do you guys eat new foods? Because I know that sometimes Naiji can be kind of picky, and they kind of like, but like how often do you guys experiment with food?
Do we eat what foods?
I generally go with I go to like a gourmet food shops close by, and I have a few restaurants I go to. I have certain dishes that I like to have all the time, but I am a bit of a foodie, so I tend to like some rather gourmet stuff. Not too expensive, but I just like foodie stuff. But I do for Nexi, whenever I go to the store or a restaurant, I pretty much always look to see if there's something I haven't had. Like I'll pick restaurants that I know I like to do things, but once I trust that I like the way they do things, I like to use that to try dishes that I haven't had before. Like I go to Trader Joe's a lot, and in general I like their stuff. So whenever I go in there, they have new seasonal stuff. Next is like, oh, you gotta try that. So for like right now, I've had pumpkin everything, pumpkin fish, pumpkin butter, like all these pumpkin things. And so next is like, ooh, try that. And so yeah, I definitely do that. Next he's big on seasonal goodies.
Yeah, because it's cool because then they kind of like make the theme of like the entire like shop or whatever, like the restaurant or even the store.
Totally. Yeah, and kind of neat like this is like the fact that it's temporary and only that little time. Like it's a unique cross-contextualized moment because of the season. You're like, okay, let's make the most of it. So I try to be open to that. But my Nye being an elitist, I tend to actually have a few shops and a few restaurants that I actually like what they do. And then with that, like I know they actually they're masterful. Basically, it's a masterful grocery store or a masterful restaurant. Then I like to try out as many new things as I can. That's my Nye to knee compromise.
That's interesting.
Like I don't go to new restaurants I've never actually gone to before, and I don't know how they are and go crazy. But if I go in and it looks like a good restaurant, I'm pretty adventurous that way. Even if I don't actually know haven't eaten it before, if it looks like it's a well done place, I tend to. That's horrible. I scope out other people's food on their table. So when I'm there, and the first thing, because I've done a lot of cooking and I've eaten a lot of places, so I can judge food fairly well. So I kind of look over and I can tell, like, okay, that looks like they make that well. Then I'll get a lot more adventurous. But if it looks like it's kind of sketched, then I'll go with the basics.
It looks like it's
sketch. It's like that egg salad doesn't look right.
But as I'm sure Shiley will tell you, I definitely err on the adventurous side because my attitude is, and next like this, it's like, I don't know when I'm going to come here again. You know what I mean? So that's something that she and I at Demas always do when we go out to like new restaurants. We tend to like to get a bunch of appetizers because for the money and the size in your belly, you can get the most tastes. So overall, yeah, I definitely like to be adventurous that way. But it was weird. I'm still super picky. Like like for example, like I'll try almost anything, but I'm adventurous that way. But there's certain things, for example, green peppers. Me and green peppers have never liked each other since I was a child, and we still don't like each other.
I've never liked peppers. Really.
So
You never like green peppers?
No.
Green peppers. The bell
only
pepper.
green. I like red peppers, but not green.
The bell
Red
pepper.
peppers are okay, but I don't really like green either. I don't know.
And here's why. Green peppers are basically just unripe peppers. A bell pepper is supposed to be red. It's green because it's not ripe yet. So anyway, long story short is if I go to any restaurant or I love going to ethnic restaurants. I love eating all kinds of different ethnic food. But it doesn't matter what cuisine I'm eating. If I see green peppers in the description of the food, that's a no-go.
Like you want to really pick them out, like.
No. A good question, Ben. No, you do not. Here's why.
Touch the food, right?
That green pepper flavor, it gets everywhere. If you put it into like a casserole or a pizza or anything, I'm serious. If you put one green pepper on a pizza, all the cheese in that entire pizza will taste like green pepper. It's one of the most pervasive. Green peppers and anchovies, they go one thing goes everywhere.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think you guys may have walked into one of my many fetishes.
It's cool. Like it's making me think too now because I actually really like green peppers. I don't mind them. The thing I don't like about like if I go to like Subway or something, I don't like pickles. I hate pickles. I don't like tomatoes.
I don't mind pickles.
And I don't like.
I don't like tomatoes.
That's
And-
weird. I'm the same way. For tomatoes, I actually love tomato sauces.
Yeah, marinara
too.
sauce.
Me
Me
too.
too. Thing.
But actual tomatoes, like slices or chunks, no.
I know. No way.
You don't
No.
like tomatoes? I like tomatoes. I don't know.
I love tomato sauce, and tomato flavor, but not actual tomatoes.
Me too. I'm the exact same way.
I don't know. I mean,
And
they
I-
don't taste
and I-
amazing, but I don't know.
I
And
don't know.
it
It's
totally.
that texture just weirds me out.
Yeah. And banana peppers. I don't like those. I don't like those at all either. I love jalapenos though.
Again,
I don't like
jalapenos are okay,
cheesecake.
but I much prefer red jalapenos.
Red jalapenos? I never even heard of such a thing.
Jalapenos are red. Jalapenos are red. Green jalapenos are unripe jalapenos. That's
Wow, you got that going on. Like the design of that is like everywhere.
And once you realize that you're basically cheap, unripened peppers, you're like, no, I'm better than this. I deserve ripe pepper, damn it.
And they're more like when it comes to like chili peppers, the green ones they're not as spicy and they're a lot more crunchy. And the red ones they're a lot more like silky in the way that they taste, or when you bite them, and they're a lot more spicier too. I think, right?
That's because they're more, most of the time, they're more developed. Some peppers are just green, but a lot of the peppers actually have a ripe scale where they start as green and they kind of go into like a yellow, orange, and then finish in a red. So the red is a more mature flavor, and it's going to be softer because it's more ripe. So the green is crunchier, and the flavor is less developed. It tastes grassy because it basically it hasn't fruited yet. It's still immature.
Yeah.
I'm not for answering that guy's question anymore, but this was a good conversation.
No, it's good though
I
because
just like go through all the
it's
foods
kind of
you like
related to
and
vegan.
like.
Yeah, it is beef fetishing. You're right. That's true.
Yeah. It's kind of more fun in a way. Food. I was thinking. Sometimes I feel like. What was that, Coach? I couldn't hear you there.
Oh, we should probably call pretty soon because it's about 8 o'clock. No rush. Go ahead.
Okay, but I just wanted to say, like, sometimes I feel like I know that a food is not going to taste good just by kind of looking at it. Like anchovies, I've never tried them, and I don't think I ever want to because they just don't seem like they would taste good. I don't know, but do you ever get that feeling?
There's a phrase that like don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, I know. I kind of feel like I want to, but then at the same time, like,
That's true. But I mean, But
Whenever I've looked at something, I've always
that's
wondered
that's a very good
whether-
point. Yeah, it's true that you don't know until you try it. The aspect of food assessment before it actually goes to the tongue. So, I mean, animals in the wild do that too. You visually assess it, you assess it by sniffing it, and then you assess it by tasting it a little bit at a time and see if you like it. So, but like anchovies, I've tasted them because I just want to know. I'm curious. So I've tasted just about everything because I just want to know. But yeah, a lot of times I knew ahead of time I wasn't going to like it, but I just did it anyway just so I wanted to say I tried it.
Yeah.
Anchovies, one of its flavors is just so strong. Like, to me, the time I enjoyed anchovies the most was when I was given, like, a Scandinavian friend I knew was big into those kind of, like, canned fish things, and he put them on, like, a nice cracker with a nice, bold, rustic mustard, and it was good. Not my favorite thing in the world, but it was decent. But the flavor's so strong that I've never had it with anything else that I liked it, because pretty much if you put, like Italians, they put anchovies a lot in certain tomato sauces. You can't taste anything else. You know what? There's a correlation to that in Asian cooking, which is fish sauce. I've eaten food that has fish sauce in it, and I was told that, and I really liked it, but I really couldn't taste the fish sauce. Anytime I can actually taste the fish sauce, that's a no-go. It just tastes like stinky, rotten fish. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that, like in Thai or Vietnamese, Cambodian food?
I don't believe it.
I'm surprised. I'm surprisingly not that adventurous with my food. I kind of eat like staples in my life, but
I'll give you a short version. Take anchovies,
yeah.
put some water in it, and like just express out the like liquid, like imagine liquid anchovy. That's what fish sauce is. Liquid anchovy. So if you don't like anchovies, you won't like fish sauce probably.
Probably.
Except fish sauce has the added bonus of you actually wonder, is this food rotten? Anchovies just taste really strong and a little bit gross. But fish sauce is like, I don't know, is this food still safe to eat? It's quite pungent. Yeah, so they do a lot with fermented stuff in some of the more Indonesian cuisines. Like they do like beans, where they ferment the beans. Some of it's kind of tasty, but some of it gets quite pungent.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different kinds of fads, and then there's also a lot of interesting stuff out there where people do all kinds of interesting stuff with food. Like there's this whole thing about like, what is it? Gluten-free foods and stuff like that. I noticed that.
Oh yeah, well, Charlene, she has a gluten allergy, so we do a lot of gluten-free stuff over here.
Yeah.
I'll just say before take off, I'll just leave you with the stinkiest food I think I've ever had.
Oh, come on, leave us with the good thing.
And this one is owned by the French. It's some French cheese. It was so stinky that even in the plastic wrapper, it was fresh. It hadn't gone bad. That's the way it smelled. It made everything in the entire fridge smell like that cheese. Everything.
Oh wow.
What was it, blue cheese?
It was amazing. No, but it was one of those like really soft kind that have like the blue veins of penicillin looking stuff in there. If you the fungus like medicine. It did. It was foul. But that's how it's supposed to be. But yeah, that was intense. All right, well, I'll let you guys go. Some other stuff you need to do, but that was a good session.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the emoji reading
Nice,
too.
nice. So continue on.
Yeah, that
Indeed,
new guy
he
was
was.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting.
He was.
I did not expect him to be a new guy. I thought for sure he would be an alpha or
Yeah, I think if you take a look at some of the Nijai neuroscientists, and there actually are several actually of them.
They're probably the most common, I think, of the ones we have.
Yeah, you are right. You're right.
Oh,
They
really?
are the most common.
Oh,
In neuroscience.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, we should have focused on that more then.
They do like medical stuff. Nijai.
Yeah.
Medical
Medical and yeah, they like neuroscience and neuropsychology, several things in that kind of vein.
Yeah.
Like a fetish or a kensei on the vibe.
Levi.
Yeah, they do. All right. Well, have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you all on Sunday then.
Thanks. Have an excellent
Awesome.
evening.
All right, and good luck on all the stuff you're working on for the project. Okay.
Have,
Sure.
have a delicious evening, guys.
Deliciousness. Yes.
Yeah.
Exquisite.